Ms. Priyanka Ahuja,
Yes.
please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Priyanka, you're from Chandigarh, is it?
Right. Yes, sir. So, Panchkula, Haryana.
Panchkula. Would you like to tell a few things about yourself?
Sure, sir. So, my name is Priyanka. I am from I live in Panchkula, Haryana. I am a dentist by profession. My father's name is Mr. Gulshan Ahuja. He's an Indian Forest Service officer.
He's still there?
Yes, sir. My mother's name is Usha Ahuja. She's a bank manager. So my aim in life is to work towards a meaningful cause that is close to my heart and devote my life to it. I am working hard towards it and I hope to achieve it.
So you're still working as a dentist
Yes, sir.
in some hospital in Chandigarh?
Yes, sir. So, Panchkula.
You have got a large number of extracurricular activities mentioned in quite impressive list.
Thank you,
I will
sir.
just ask about one thing.
Right, sir.
It is teaching.
Right, sir.
Is there everything right with the Indian teaching system? Indian schools in India?
Sir, not everything is right, but there are many good areas also, there are many bad areas also.
Hmm?
So amongst the few good areas that I think there are, we have a very large number of teachers who are actually dedicated to the cause of the children. For example, in my own life, I have come across a few teachers in Panchkula who are retired now from teaching service and they still take up teaching children. And from the cultural values, this I think in India this comes that
You don't talk about the old timers.
Right, sir.
If the teachers selected recently, in which some chief minister also had gone in jail,
Right, sir.
if those teachers, do you think they'll be quality teachers? They'll be able to teach properly?
Certainly not, sir. Sir, this is a huge malaise that has been affecting the teaching area today. For example, in Haryana, this happened, and this is a
Many states is happening. In
Right.
Haryana, it was caught.
Right, sir. It was caught. So,
Hmm.
sir, I think this kind of phenomena when it occurs, I think it is a direct reflection of the problem in the society that there is that enough teachers, even if they are available, they are not recruited properly. Secondly, those teachers who get recruited, these kind of teachers, what kind of an effect they will have on the children whom they will teach and on their future.
Have you heard of pedagogy?
Yes, sir.
What is pedagogy?
So pedagogy is the technique through which a teacher teaches her students. For
All
example,
students.
pardon me, sir?
So suppose you are in a training school.
Right, sir.
Do you think as a trainer, are you going to use pedagogy there?
No, sir. If I'm teaching a child, for example, if I'm teaching a child,
So it's child.
yes,
Pedagogy is for the
Children.
child, for
Yes,
children.
yes,
Suppose you want to teach adults.
right, sir.
What is the goji that you use? What is the technique that you use? What is the name of that?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the name.
It's andragogy.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So, dental. After doing dental, you don't find satisfaction in dental service?
So although it was a childhood dream of mine to be a doctor, but I did my graduation from a government college, and while working as an intern there, I realized several adequacies are there in the administration also, which if we can fulfill those, we can serve a much larger section of the patients. For example, perpetual shortage of drugs, perpetual shortage of basic things as anesthesia. They pose a huge problem for doctors as well as
But being in
patients.
civil service, you'll be able to sort it out more better.
So I think civil services, being in the civil services will offer me to be part of an institution where I can look forward to working to
Clear the
filling these
decision.
gaps.
I see. Now, another question about teaching, about education.
Right, sir.
What do you think are three major problems in education system in India? Just three major problems.
Right, sir. So one of the major problems I think is that the teaching profession itself. Our teachers do not come by choice. They are the people who are at some level, according to me, they are forced into it. For example, the primary teachers. they are not satisfied people with not with their contractual nature of their job, or with their pay, or with
So
the
job satisfaction of
Yes,
the teacher, this is one reason.
Yes.
What else?
So secondly, I think child-friendly pedagogy is not there in our country, because children are forced to pass classes, or in the recently when it was the
So
gradation
methodology,
system.
faulty methodology.
Yes, sir, for teaching.
Then
Thirdly, sir, the whole culture of our schools is that we have to pass children. We have to. They are not educated. They are made literate. So I think in that culture, that mindset that we have today, that is one of the major faults when we cannot.
next.
Thirdly, sir, I think moving on to a higher level,
No,
children.
even lower level, you can go even there are many things even if at the secondary schools.
Right, sir.
They'll have many
sir.
problems.
Right, sir. Sir, when a child reaches 10th class, he does not know what lies in the different areas that he chooses. For example, in medical, in non-medical, or in commerce. He is not given a proper counseling session in where lies his strength.
So lack of career counseling.
Yes, sir.
That
I
should
think
be
if that is given, we can.
institutionalized.
Yes, sir.
What else?
Sir, I work in NGO where I teach. So I think one of the major problems is talent identification. If a child is very intelligent, or if he is inclined towards a particular subject.
No, but the schools don't go and look for talents. Whoever comes, they teach them.
Right, sir.
So that's not the issue. I'm saying in education system in say Bihar and UP, there are certain things very well known. What are those problems?
Sir, in the disciplinary area, I think. For example, in the.
Have you heard of copying?
Yes, sir.
What is copying?
So copying when people open books in their exams.
Exactly. So don't you think it's a major problem?
Yes, sir. Certainly, sir. Yes, sir.
Then don't you think there is enough budget? Do you think there is enough budget for that? How much India spends on education?
So
What
it is
is
less
the
than 2.5%.
percentage of GDP?
Yes, sir.
How it compares with other developed countries and developing countries?
Sir, it is in most of the countries it is higher, much higher than what India spends. For example.
So that is also a problem, isn't it?
Yes, sir, certainly it is.
So it's lack of teachers, lack of proper methodology,
Yes, sir.
copying, lack of money.
Certainly, sir. Yes.
There are n number of problems.
Right, sir.
Can you suggest some solution?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, we should have first of all, we should have a teaching service where we can recruit those people who are actually interested in teaching, who actually take pains to educate themselves in the new methodologies of teaching, in understanding the child, so that they can contribute better. Secondly, sir, we have to change our mindsets. We have to see that child must not be seen as a person who, every child cannot be a doctor or an engineer. Some children have to be singers, some children have to be painters. So we have to
career
inculcate.
counseling. Career counseling.
Yes, sir. So thirdly, I think we should concentrate more on education, not only on literacy. We should try to make better citizens out of children. I think schools are one of the best places where we can do this. Then, sir, on a higher administrative level, we should see that enough funds are available for government schools, and teachers who are on contractual basis, especially in the public schools, they are changed into permanent basis so that they can have job satisfaction and they can perform better in their jobs. Thirdly, sir, the GDP issue, we should.
Oh, that accepted. More money should be there. No problem.
Right, sir.
Any other issue?
That's it.
Don't you think there is a big digital gap between rural schools and urban schools? Internet connection, all those. N number of, there is duality.
Right, sir.
There is one is India, the other is Bharat,
Absolutely, sir.
So don't you think that also should be bridged?
Certainly, sir, we should work towards that.
Do you think IT can be used properly in information technology? In using IT-based learning or video-based learning
Sir,
can be introduced?
Sir, I think given the current level of our education system, especially in the rural areas, if we see, if we can provide them with better books and better pedagogy, I think that will be the first step. Certainly, we can move towards computer also then later.
Okay, Priyanka, you have referred cultural values, right? What do you understand? What do you mean by cultural values?
Sir, what I mean by cultural values is the roots from where we come. For example,
The
belonging.
roots from where we have come.
Right, sir.
Tell me about those roots.
Right, sir. Sir, if we talk about Indian culture,
Yeah.
for example, we can deduce so many things from the Indian culture in so many aspects of life. For example, if you talk about education or teaching, we have always heard of teacher being referred to as guru.
Come to the basic points of your Indian culture with reference to your cultural values. Shall we pay respect to those 7 sort of or 8 sort of illegal marriages? That is the cultural aspect.
Yes.
Shall we give respect to 6 forms of illegal offsprings of our society? Right? Shall we give respect to the women burning, child burning? I mean, this is also one of the aspects of our ancient, glorious culture. So which cultural values you are speaking of?
Absolutely, sir. You're absolutely right in saying that. No society is free of negatives that we talk about. And even when we talk about our traditional Indian or Hindu society in particular here, I think there itself it has negativities, but if we can take out positive aspects out of it, for example, if we talk about mother, bhabi being referred to as mother, that is a beautiful portrayal of relationship in a household. If we can talk about teacher being a guru, that is a beautiful portrayal of a relationship in which a pupil can gather maximum of knowledge. So we can see that aspect also. So I was talking about that aspect.
And you have referred teaching as a profession. So if you are provocating, I mean if you are advocating Gurukul system as such, then where this teaching profession comes into existence?
No sir, not Gurukul system as such, but I was just trying to put across that if we take our teacher as our guru, if this is propagated in the society which people have, children have forgotten today, then it is very, it will be very easy and it will be very effective way to inculcate knowledge, to inculcate discipline in the child, and he can benefit from it in the long run. That is what I meant by the guru.
Sure.
You have frequently used this word, guru, right? Guru and teacher. Now, be short in explaining what exactly is the difference between a coach, a trainer, a teacher, and a mentor. And a mentor. And which one will be the one that will be considered to be guru?
Sir, a coach would be, as I see it, it would be telling the practical techniques. For example, when we talk about sports, we talk about coach.
Simplifying your job.
Right, sir.
Okay. Trainer?
So, trainer would be somebody who is with the pupil while he is performing his activity. For example, in a gym, we talk about a trainer who helps and tells the proper technique of an exercise. So, if we talk about a guru,
Teacher.
so teacher, so it would be someone who teaches what is right or what is wrong. It is in the teaching aspect only, in telling.
Is it not about a chapter? Is it not about a chapter?
Certainly, sir. It would be about the particular thing that he is wanting to impart to his pupil.
Now, let me understand it.
Right, sir.
I am teaching you a chapter.
Right, sir.
I know that is this much amount of information, knowledge and analysis must go to you.
Absolutely.
And I hold that part.
Right, sir.
Because somewhere I have to give my time.
Right, sir.
So will then I be qualified as a teacher?
Sir, I think teacher is where we would start qualifying someone who does that.
Now will that be called as a teaching? Will that be called as teaching?
Certainly,
And
sir.
then will that person be called as a teacher?
Certainly, sir. Yes, sir.
No, will be called as a businessman, trader. It's the intent that matters,
Right, sir.
not the act,
Absolutely.
right?
Right, sir.
So when I'm teaching you with the intent of improving you, no matter how much amount of accolade or brickbats I'm getting, but then only I know that what I'm doing for you is right.
Absolutely, sir.
That is teaching.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. So you modify your points.
Right, sir.
Okay. And Guru?
Sir, guru is a term which is given to a learned person as a mark of respect also.
That's why wisdom.
Right, sir.
That's why it can be anything. Then wisdom, that means it can be a local person as well, who is from a village as well.
Right.
But then, which is the English term that comes closest to that of Guru?
So I think he is mentor.
Mentor. And what exactly mentor goes on to do?
So mentor acts as an anchor who gives direction to the child. who tells.
Why does he give direction to the child? Why is it not that anyone else is in a position to give this direction to the child?
So because he holds a position of respect.
Why does he hold that? Is it that he holds that position, or is it that by virtue of what he is doing, he goes on to get that respect?
Certainly, sir. By the virtue of his acts, or by the virtue of his.
And what is exactly his act is? What exactly his act is?
So care and compassion for the child, sir, understanding.
And why does he develop that care and compassion? Because he fill in the gap. Because he falls in love with his student.
Certainly, sir.
Right?
Yes.
For him, all of those people are his students.
Certainly.
Right? And his students are able to depose themselves in front of him.
Absolutely.
No questions asked.
Certainly.
Right?
Yes.
So we were discussing about the golden ancient past of India.
Right.
Tell me the points. I mean, how it was a golden past.
So we've been an ancient civilization, and if we talk about, if we talk about golden past, we can talk about it in many aspects. For example, we can talk about it in the terms of civilization. We can talk about it in terms of scientific achievements. That
Civilization, come on, point by come to the civilization first, right?
So, for example, if we talk about the Indus Valley civilization that we had in the Indian subcontinent, so we had the best kind of drainage system that was there. So we had the best kind of societal interaction that was there, given the area, given the kind of houses that they built, given the kind of community relationship that they had. For
That every primitive society has done the same thing. Babylonia and Syria, I mean, all the ancient civilizations, contemporary civilizations, it's a common thing. What's new about it? What is golden about it?
So the extent of the range of activities that we excelled in, I think that is unprecedented as far as I have read, so I may be wrong. So for example, our scientific achievements, for example, our cultural achievements, for example, our architectural
Those
achievements.
cultural achievements, I just want to know from your mouth, what were the cultural achievements we had in our ancient past? What were those cultural achievements?
So for example, the development of the Devanagari script and the development of the language that we are still following even after 5,000 years. So one of them was that.
So number of, every country has language has developed in script, so nothing new.
Just think on that line. Is it not that we're going to be calling it golden in relation to today?
So one of the things
Because
that...
golden days, golden songs, golden films,
Right.
right?
Right.
Is it so? So let us know.
If you talk about Gupta period, it was a golden period, certainly it was not. Because the silk route that was generated, it was in the time of Kanishk, not in the Gupta period. In Gupta period, we had the maximum societies made by the old people. There was the maximum debasement of currency during Gupta period. So it cannot be said a golden period. But I want to suggest to you one thing, that we had a common past as other civilizations had. We have nothing to glorify our past, Because if we start glorifying our past, a number of things come forward which will put a very bad spot and a very bad thing on us. Right?
I'll just going to conclude, sir. Here's from geography. One interesting question, very, very interesting. We're going to find scholars in history. We have Dr. Ravi Sharma, Rupin Chandra, Romila Thapar. Same thing in economics, Professor Ahmad Sen, Jagdish Mukhi. Same thing in psychology, Janak Pandey. Same thing in sociology and in Hindi as well, and so on. Why don't we have any scholar in geography? And what are its implications? Can you name any scholar in geography?
So we have you.
I guess I would answer.
I'm flattered. You've left me speechless. But I'm not a scholar, I'll let you know. I'm not a scholar, neither I'm a geographer. Right? Because I'm from physics background and I'm more of an earth scientist rather than a geographer. There has been not even a single member of geography in planning commission ever. Right? And the fact is, we never had any scholar in geography. Why is that so?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
Okay. Now, you know what is CBD?
Yes, sir.
That is?
Central Business District.
Okay. What is CBD known by different names in different countries?
So it is known as downtown in Western countries.
In? Okay. Western countries means?
So mostly in America, USA.
In USA.
Yes, sir.
In England?
Sorry.
Okay. In Russia? China? India?
So bazaar, chalk.
Chalk.
Yes.
So you have a square in Russia and China, communist countries.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. CBD is the same name that is going to be given in England. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the CBD in different cultures go on to portray different characteristics. What are these characteristics and why is it that they go on to be there?
So CBD is an area where all the important routes of a city converge, and it is sort of if you talk about lifelines, it is like a life spot of a particular city. And the reason that it is so important in any city is that the people, it hosts the most important areas in terms of business, in terms of social.
You are deviating away from the question. My question was simple, that is, why is it that the CBDs in different countries go on to be different, having a different look, having a different function, and what are these differences, and why is it that the differences are there?
So CBD.
You have given this answer before. I am extending it. You have already given a clue to me to ask this question to you. In a sense, you are leading me towards that answer question. You have led me towards this question.
So CBD essentially portrays the life and the civilization that a city holds. So sir, that is the necessarily it will mirror the kind of country that we are talking about, because it necessarily hosts the culture and the social and the economic fabric of that particular city. So sir, that is the reason that a CBD will be different in different countries and cities.
Agreed. But still you are not answering the question.
Could you please repeat?
You said that we go on to call it a chalk.
Right.
Is it that the chalks going to be the same, they're going to be looking like same, they're going to function as the same as the downtown of USA?
Certainly not, sir. It depends upon the level of development.
No. It depends on the lifestyle of the people.
Right.
In chalk, you have certain buildings whose lowest floor is going to be occupied for commercial activities, shops. The first floor is going to be for offices. The third floor is the one on which the owner goes to live. So the cities in India and the CBD, the chalk in India, goes into be having both commercial as well as residential function. While in the United States, it goes into be having only commercial function. That's why it is called as a dead heart of the city, right? And in Russia, it's open square. I mean, it's used only for a showcasing of the strength of the country, like mass past, like flat past, and so on. While in Britain, it goes on to be again having dual or triple functions with showcasing your architecture and so on and so forth. And that is because we go on to be aligning ourselves with doing almost everything in the central part of the city. We like to be with the people, we like to hobnob with the people, we like to take care of these people, we always like to meet our neighbors, and our habits are that every day we go on to go to a shopping place, which is going to be a corner shop.
Right.
That's the reason. In US, they go on to go for a shopping complex only once in a week. Right? Anyway, rather than you giving an answer, I have given you an answer.
Thank you.
Right? Okay. Now the last question from my side. That is, go on to relate films with some economic development events, with some geographical events. More properly, with some geographical events that you may have studied as part of the geography optional. Films. Certain films depicting certain type of geographical event in the country. And Indian films are classed apart on that account.
嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 account. 嗯 I can quote
Yes.
a Hollywood film.
Which films?
So if I can quote a Hollywood film, if you give me.
No, not Hollywood. I'm talking Mumbai's film industry. Mumbai's film industry.
Bollywood.
Sir, I'm not fully understanding the question. I'm sure I can answer it if I fully understand.
Okay, Upkan was for depicting what? Green Revolution. Mother India for dragon farming. Manthan was for White Revolution. Now, go ahead.
Okay.
Sir,
So right now I'm not able to recall.
sir, please.
You think over it, someday you might need it.
So, in today's paper, there was a news item about India having agreed to dealing with HFC under Montreal Protocol.
Right.
Hmm?
Right.
You're aware of this? You read that item?
So today I have not read the newspaper as yet,
Hmm.
but I'm aware of the Montreal Protocol and the HFCs.
Okay. So what was India's stand earlier?
Sir, earlier we took the stand that because hydrofluorocarbons, they are not greenhouse gases per se, so we do not need to give a commitment for limiting them under the Montreal Protocol. So sir, but sir, I have not read the today's newspaper, so I don't know the
No,
changes.
now we have indicated that we are agreeable to do it in under Montreal Protocol,
Alright.
and that there should be a time frame of 15 years. But when we were earlier saying that we won't do it under Montreal Protocol, we were saying that this should be discussed under some other protocol
Yes, sir.
or under some other talk.
Right.
Which talk?
It's a Kyoto Protocol.
Eh?
It's a Kyoto.
Kyoto Protocol.
Yes.
Kyoto Protocol is now over, so on the climate change talk,
Right.
climate change framework. Why did we want it to be discussed under UNFCCC? Why did we want to discuss it there, but not in Montreal Protocol? There must have been some reason.
So according to me, in the UNFCCC, we have a huge chunk of developing countries that can stand united and give their point of view. But here, it is not so. So I think that is the reason, because I know this that in the United Nations Framework for Convention for Climate Change, I know this that we have a huge following of developing countries with India acting as their leader to put their point across. So I think that is the reason we are advocating for having it discussed there.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, anyway, you tried, and I think that is not a bad attempt. But it was basically because under UNFCCC, the Annex 1 countries have binding commitments,
Right.
and as developing country, we might have escaped any binding commitment. That is what our thinking was. But tell me, there are so many, negotiations in environment and trade and all that which goes on. Why is it that this climate change is considered is a very high profile negotiation? What is the implication of this?
Sir, although we have n number of meetings and conventions where we discuss about ozone depleting substances or things like this, but I think that the climate change has acquired such a high profile status in these talks is because there are diverse, it's a very controversial topic. Some people say there is climate change, some people say there is not climate change. Then people who say there is climate change, they have a host of vested interests under their agenda. For
Like?
example, if we talk about USA, it has a huge interest in selling us the renewable solar energy products. And it wants countries, especially like India and China, who have the capacity to spend and who have a burgeoning population and a huge development still to be done. It wants us to buy those equipments and support its economy. So, sir, I think it is because of these this kind of high thing that it acquires such a high profile nature.
Okay, I think you have a point. But tell me one thing, why are we opposing it so much? Isn't it good to have have more energy efficient equipment, good to have solar equipment. In the long run, will it not be good for the country? Why are we opposing it?
Certainly, sir, it will be very good for the country if we can adopt the renewable energy. But I think that the costs which accompany the adoption of renewable energy at this stage of development, that is not viable. Of course, we cannot say no to renewable energy. We have to convert our part of an energy needs into renewable energy. But being such a huge, having such a huge amount of coal that we have today, I don't think that it will be financially, economically viable for India to just discard all that resource that we have today and import the new technology that will require huge finances, huge changes in our already installed infrastructure. So I think we have to follow a balanced approach and we have to move gradually towards the renewable energy.
You have heard this INDC, intended nationally determined contributions? No. Okay. And recently there was another, I think in WTO, some. But one thing, let me ask you. Father is in forest.
Right, sir.
So, are the forests considered carbon sinks?
Yes, sir.
How? Why?
So because they utilize the carbon dioxide to generate oxygen.
So that carbon dioxide is later on used as it gets converted into the biomass.
Right.
So it is there as a biomass.
Right, sir.
But if you cut the forest and use it, let us say for burning, then
So the
it
same
will
is
release.
released. Yes.
Can I extend this, sir? Can I extend it?
Yeah.
See, which is the biggest source for carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Which is the biggest source? From where this source is being generated? Which is a cause of worry? And since you know about the climatic geopolitics, you may be in a position to answer this question. Is it that the fossil fuels are the real villain, or is it something else?
So according to my knowledge, I think much more than the fossil fuels. I think it is the gases which are released in the volcanic emissions and the natural source of carbon dioxide is much more than the known sources of combustion.
Okay, now what exactly is it that they're going to do? Some of these gases that are released, and supposing they go to raise the temperature by even slightest amount, what are going to be its implications?
So there will be changes in the pattern of seasons and the pattern of winds as we know today.
Now, with respect to the emission of carbon dioxide, for any reason the temperature has increased, let's say by 0.5 degrees centigrade, then what are its implications for carbon emissions further?
So when the temperatures increase, there will be increase in the rate of metabolism that is there. So we'll be, it will go on to form a vicious circle and
Yes, it will go to form a vicious circle, but then you are away from that track in a vicious manner as well. Right? I'm going to bring you back. That is, what will going to happen in the polar areas?
so the ice will melt.
What will happen
So
then?
the sea levels will increase.
What will happen then? What will happen if the ice melts and the temperature of the seawater increases?
So the carbon dioxide that is being released.
Yes, you have got it right. So the biggest danger is that any increase in the temperature will go on to bring about the melting of the icebergs in the polar area, and that will go to release a huge amount. Second biggest source, and that is even bigger source.
So biggest source for?
Biggest source for emission of carbon dioxide. And these are some of the things that the laymen can't go to know.
Right, sir.
It's only the scientists who happen to know that.
Right, sir.
And that is,
Sir, I'm not able to understand the question fully. If the sea
that is
melts,
sea temperatures rise.
right, sir.
Some creatures will start releasing carbon dioxide. What will happen in the biotic life of the sea that will going to release carbon dioxide? And that is the biggest source. All the shells which going to be carbonaceous in nature,
Right, sir.
they will go to get dissolved in the seawater and they will go to release carbon dioxide. And these are the two things that the rest of the world doesn't going to know. And consequently, they're going to form a hackneyed notion about global warming. So it's not exactly it's fossil fuel. You're correct on that part. It's the volcanic eruptions that go to be releasing so many gases. Like Pinatuban, whatever that has happened in Iceland, we are feeling the brunt of it right now. Sir?
I think I have finished.
Okay?
And just last question. You come from Chandigarh.
Right, sir.
Have you heard of someone called Lee Corbusier?
Right, sir.
What did he do?
Sir, Lee Corbusier, Chandigarh is brainchild of Lee Corbusier. He envisaged and envisioned everything that is today in Chandigarh, right from the rectangular.
So did he have only one brainchild or there are some others also?
So many across the world. So
In
he's-
India?
So in India, sir, I had read about it. I'm not able to recall it right now. But there is.
There is one.
Yes, sir.
Bangalore.
Pardon, sir?
Bangalore?
Yes, sir. I am not able to recall. I had read it about it.
Bangalore or Gandhinagar?
So I think Gandhinagar. So I am not sure, but I had read about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to give you call
Thank
back for feedback.
Thank you. Good day, sir. No, sir. I didn't make mails.
I see. So you appear in mails.
Yes,
And when is your interview?
sir. I'm not confident yet.
You didn't get the call.
Only 3 days from now. See, I'm talking on behalf of by and large. That is, we don't want to find any specific weakness other than the sir was of the opinion that you are a bit confused, right? Confused with respect to maybe personality, some of those viewpoints. How would you like to respond to it?
Confused with the fundamentals, you know. I mean, as you were speaking very high of ancient golden past.
Okay, sir.
So one thing should be clarified. It's not that, you know.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
If you
that's-
don't know something, I think it's better to say no.
Okay, sir.
Right in the beginning, rather than making some statement which happens to be wrong and then creating confusion. It's better to be honest and say, sir, I have not applied my mind, I have not read it, I don't know about it.
And you know, Priyanka, you can go on to say no in 10 different ways. 10 different ways, right? It's not that you have to blatantly say, no, I don't know the answer. Say that I may go to try, if I go to give me a hint. That is, I may try to frame an answer, but I'm not sure about the fact that whether the answer will be right or not. I'm missing on certain facts. I will not able to connect it with the other beats to make it a necklace. Other is that is, I may be forgetting certain things. If you insist, I'll try. I'm talking about all the ways by way of which you can go to say no. You don't have to be blatant with the board, say no sir, sorry, I don't know this answer. This is something that I will never go to advocate, because when you go to say no in the ways that we have talked about, the board is always going to be connected to you. The moment you're going to say it in a blatant manner, you're going to disconnect your conversation and going to have a disconnection with the chemistry that you are likely to have or going to forging with the board, right? So maybe we can go to talk about it, how are the ways by way of which you can go to say, no, I don't know the answer and please leave me alone. I mean in a straightforward manner, but of course we'll go to find ways of it. The other, the strength that we were able to find in you was that you were very amenable to being mentored, right? And we discussed with all of these esteemed members, and this is what UPSC wants. They can go to send you to Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, and they can go to teach you whatever that is required. So you can be actually mentored into becoming a very good administrative officer. Now, to be very honest, we don't know about your administrative abilities because we never went to pose you type of questions that would have tested your administrative ability. We only went on to know whether your communication is good or not, and your personality is good or not, your balance of perception is there or not, and that can you be amended or not, or so on and so forth. You went on to show a lot of value-loaded answers. When going to show that is you are really value-loaded. And what you want to say that you maybe to some of the boards you can go to give them some sign of what you want to say in Hindi, पवित्रता का एहसास भी आप दिला सकती हैं, ठीक कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है क्योंकि you look a very sweet girl of sorts that way, right? The third part is, I mean, as far as the strength is concerned, you know the topics, and some of the topics about which you know, you're pretty well convinced, like the way you went on to talk up to Farooqi sir, there is America's stand on selling their solar technology. Now that is an insight. That is an insight, right? And that's a good insight. And sometimes certain stances that go on to be against this stream or maybe a bit debated, that goes into make your brand as well. That is, well, everyone will go to say global warming is taking place. Effect number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you said that there can be different perspective.
That was very good.
Now, these are the type of answers that goes into really going to make your interview of sorts. One answer can go to make it, right? And with some of the topics, we're always trying to frame an answer, like the one that we went on to have an encounter of sorts on teaching, training, mentoring. You were constantly learning about it. So that was a good sign. Not that we're going to expect that you are omniscient and you know about almost everything, right? And that is it. Of course, maybe with respect to your knowledge or information, you can go to brush up a lot of things.
Right.
There is no one who is an omniscient.
Right.
But then interview is all about, even if you don't know, how is it that you can go to escape and manage that little amount of knowledge. Sir, this is all about it. This is all about it.
You left that point according to me.
Yes, I was coming to that.
I'll tell you one example. Somebody came from Badaim,
Okay, sir.
and Badaim is a place in UP where they make a lot of good peda.
Okay.
Peda is a sweet. And bored people, they said, oh, you come from Badaim. Tell me how people make peda. And he didn't know about it. He could have said, no, I don't know. What he said? He said, he smiled and said, sir, it's a trade secret of my district. I can't reveal it. So you can to go to that jovial level only if you are able to say confidently.
Right.
If you are hesitating, then don't say it.
See, with your type of personality, you seem to be type B personality, generally, look like to be so. But don't look like type A personality.
Okay, sir. I'm not aware of the
What is the
Type A personality is that one who is looking for perfection in almost everything. They're always under anxiety. They're always looking their staff to perform. They're always looking at that they always have a very high expectation of themselves. You seem to be much more comfort with yourself. That is, you're going to accept a lot of things the way they're going to be coming to.
The civil service needs only B and C type people.
He will be successful.
Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means that way again you are going to be suited to that. And if it is going to be only about me, then from my side, you are one of these best candidates. You don't have to worry about it, except for the fact that is that you have to make the board happy by being maybe by sending them a perception and a signal that you are going to be a very, very good daughter. अगर किसी की बेटी खराब होगी तो क्या करे? ऐसी बेटी मेरी होती तो कितना अच्छा होता.
And moreover, she has to work on her, badminton, swimming. You have written here. So all those things that you have written,
Yes, sir.
you should be able to. You have to brush up a little bit. They might talk about HelpAge India
Right, sir.
because most of these fellows will be elderly,
Right, sir.
so they'd like to know a little more about it. What do you do?
नहीं वो बहुत important है.
A lot of questions they will ask.
Right.
Then you are a dentist. Then you are still working with global cancer concern. How did you develop that interest? It is basically your dentist,
Yes.
and it is a cancer issue. So all those they might ask why teachers have already asked something.
Yes.
So I think those answers are not that bad. Painting you have written.
Yes.
So I think you have written many things.
Maybe that you can go to think
It could
of
be minefield for you and it could be minefield for the interviewers also.
Yes.
Right.
So therefore be ready on these issues.
And
It might
you
be-
will do well. You have done well in this also. But as sir was saying, go through your own application form and
Right.
everything that you have mentioned is your hobby or your interest. Just make sure that you are fully prepared, and some of them can actually help you a lot. For example, if somebody asks your role in HelpAge and you can indicate what all you have done and put it positively, then it shows very good attribute for a civil servant.
Yeah, that's right.
Because increasingly, what the government looks for in a civil servant is not, earlier image was ke danda wielding type ka hoga chahiye, he should be authoritative. No, today the idea is how much how you can serve the people well.
Right, sir.
So I think you have a lot going for you.
Thank you, sir.
और वो आपने बता दिया अपना वो जो आप कर रहे थे अकॉर्डिंग टू
वो उनको बताना था ना सिद्धार्थ जी को मैंने कहाँ बताया
एक observation is a small point you can easily correct it that when you talk don't use this phrase too often. Once or twice is all right, but if you say according to me, you know, it almost looks as if you are an authority and that is why I got. So, you know, you can easily say, I think this is what it is. Or, but once or twice if you use, there is no harm also. But more, it becomes a little challenge.
Could I ask you a few questions, sir, if you allow me?
Yes, yes. I mean, I'm going to extend on Sir's statement. You can always go to say that yes, there have been 2 or 3 different perspectives. One of the perspective is this one, and I'm going to subscribe to this perspective. That can go to make it bit even more suave and sophisticated.
Yes, so that was my idea, because I thought if I say I think, then they might not
I
think
is
that
not
I
a very
am
good word.
confused.
Yes.
Sir. Yes.
Me again doesn't. I, me, myself. These 3 words are not very good.
Yes, sir.
In fact, your formulation for climate change was very good. You said there
I
are 2
learned it from
views.
sir.
There are 2 views, and you said that that was very good way.
You wanted to ask some question?
हाँ जी सर. Sir, एक तो ये था कि if I can say I think, because many people have dissuaded me from saying that, but I can say it if 1 or 2 times if.
Maybe once, not too many times.
Okay.
Why should you go to say? Why should you go to say I think? You can go to say that is there's one of the perspectives is,
Okay.
one of the perspective is, right? And of course, when you're saying it's your perspective.
Let me just amplify, sir. If you
Okay,
don't
sir.
mind. There are times when you ought to be thinking. Supposing I ask you why this is so, and there is no school of thought. Supposing I say, why was India saying this? It is not as if there is a school of thought which says India took this position for this reason. Now this is your view.
Right.
This is your opinion. Now there it is, I think, completely legitimate to say I think.
All right.
And there if you say according to me, I think is somewhat jarring. But if you are talking of, let us say, global warming, and there if you say that I think global warming is taking place or not taking place, then you are talking of a situation where there are authorized opinions available. There you should actually refer to them.
Right. Right.
So there are times where, ultimately in the administration, the government is looking for people who can think. And there is no reason to be shy of being able to think.
Right.
That is going to be your very important asset.
Right.
But don't think too much कि पता चले कि thinking करते
And
करते
if and if you're not confident, you're guessing, then you can say that I don't know, but probably
I can make an intelligent guess.
guess. So I
And
think
then you give a reason why you are guessing like this.
so. You appear to be an honest person trying to guess, and if your guess is close to reality, they appreciate it.
Right.
That you've been able to guess properly. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck.